the number 11 Tennessee Volunteers traveled to number 6 Alabama. Yet again, Alabama has a big game. It's week after week after week at this point. That's the nature of playing the SEC and getting one of the tougher draws in the SEC especially. But it's another huge opportunity for Alabama to keep the ball rolling, and it's a win that it kind of feels like Tennessee really needs. After losing to Georgia and losing to Alabama, it kind of seems like it cements you as like not in the top tier of the SEC this season. But what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to give you 3 trends.
Please do.
Actually, 4 trends.
Even better.
Tennessee has not won in Tuscaloosa since 2003.
Perfect.
Kalen DeBoer has not lost at home since November 6th of 2021 to Boise State. It is one of his only 2 home losses ever as an FBS head coach.
At that time, was he the head coach of Fresno
State?
Yep.
The other was October 24th, 2020, the COVID year at Fresno State against who? A Mountain West school.
UNLV.
No.
Air Force.
No. Jack, you got a guess?
Sorry, I was trying to figure out if Kalen DeBoer is wearing a black hoodie this weekend.
That's a good question.
Probably won't be known.
But it's a Mountain West team. Utah State.
Hawaii.
Wow.
In the COVID year. Hawaii and Boise State are Kalen DeBoer's 2 ever home losses as an FBS head coach. Of course, neither of those have happened in almost 4 years now. Tennessee defensively has been really bad this year. They've been outscoring teams. They've been winning games. They're in the 120s in pass defense. Alabama has the 12th best pass offense, another trend that leans towards the Tide. And Tennessee in their 3 SEC games, 44 to Georgia, as in they gave up 44. They've given up 34 to State, and they gave up 31 last week to Arkansas. We've kind of talked about like how those are not necessarily offenses you can trust already today. With Georgia, with Arkansas and Taylor Green and their turnovers, and of course State with their lack of pass protection. Tennessee does lead the SEC in sacks, so they've got to show up like that. But there's 4 trends that lean towards the Tide this weekend already.
Yeah, Tucker, I don't know if those are trends or just facts. Depending on who you ask. Yeah, observations. But that is pretty funny. I think it's a great point. And it's once again, it's a thing of like the country has kind of fallen in love with Ty Simpson. And that's him playing against pretty tough defenses, or defense we at least feel better about than this Tennessee defense, especially the passing defense. Y'all watched State have good success against them in the pass game, but then also on the ground in Davis-Wade. Georgia threw the ball really well on them. So I feel like there's not really much reason to expect Ty Simpson not to spin the ball well this weekend. The path, as we've said time and time again, every time we do an Alabama preview, to keep Ty Simpson from spinning the ball well, is you have to get pressure on him and consistent pressure, because he's actually performing pretty well under pressure at times. He can move well in the pocket. He's not the biggest runner in terms of scrambling, but he moves well in the pocket, so you're going to have to find a way to get after him. And this is just a prediction for me, kind of a read. But this feels like a special teams impact kind of game. Someone misses a big field goal. Someone returns a kick for a touchdown or a punt for a touchdown or blocks a field goal. It just has that kind of air about it to me this weekend, so that's something I'm looking for.
I feel like that's how it's been in recent times. At least it was the year Tennessee beat, or one of the years Tennessee beat Alabama in Knoxville. They had that weird late field goal, wobbly but goes through. Was that the first time? So 2022?
It was the first time.
2022?
Against Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He kicked a duck.
Yeah.
It was not blocked. He kicked a duck, and it still went through from 44 yards.
He got lucky.
Yeah. So
sometimes you rather be lucky than good. But you're right. Like I'm not pulling it out of thin air.
Yeah.
Another thing to note, Jem Miller's questionable. He went down towards the end of the Vandy game. The Missouri game, not the Vandy game. Getting my weeks mixed up. So does he play? Because we've seen the run game be a lot more successful and bring balance to this offense when he's there. So that's really something to look for as well. I'm also, for Tennessee, I think you're going to need Joey Aguilar to take care of the football. He's actually thrown a good amount of picks. So if you look at PFF, he doesn't have very many turnover-worthy plays. So whether you're a PFF hater or PFF believer, you're going to put stock in that or not put stock into that. But this Alabama secondary is playing well of late. We talked about Dijon Lee on Sunday. He keeps coming along. And so it's a thing of, can he protect the football when throwing downfield? Or are they going to just play into Bama's weakness and just run the ball a lot and have great success there? I don't know. For Bama, I think the route to success here, and I'm kind of rambling, but let Ty Simpson do his thing. Defense, you just got to tread water and find some stops and not just get gashed and give up explosive play after explosive play. Just provide some resistance and let Ty Simpson and the offense do its thing, and I think you can walk out with a win here at home. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Y'all's thoughts, before as we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think that you said the Tennessee defense just needs to find some stops. Is that what you were just saying?
No, the Alabama
defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you were saying Tennessee, which I was going to say I don't expect them to be able to do that. Like you pointed out,
Sure.
They've struggled this year, giving up they're outside of the hundreds in opponent points per game and opponent yards per game. That's nearing like Mississippi State territory last year. We were 135th, so like out of 136 FBS teams, if you're in the hundreds, it's not great. They're definitely that was I didn't mean to throw that much shade at Tennessee's defense. They are not that
suck.
bad.
It is funny though, because like as soon as we were like, wow, Tennessee actually got this good defense, like the pendulum has swung on a Josh Heupel Tennessee team.
Yeah,
we're all the way back.
And I saw someone tweet that like if you put last year's defense with this year's offense, it could be crazy. And it's really unfortunate that like those two ships passed in the dark. Sure. Not that I want to see Tennessee have that kind of success, but it would have been a really good football team and a really fun team to watch.
Yeah, I'm personally very happy it didn't happen.
Yes, as someone who loves really good football, though, that would have been a darn good football team.
Sure.
That being said...
And so you love Alabama, of course.
No.
Well, one of the three of us, and I won't name names, but has said Roll Tide.
Okay.
So that...
I'll tell it. Am I going to have to tell the story every time?
Unironically,
do I have to tell the story
not
every
like
time?
You don't have
Not
to.
ironically.
You don't have to.
Unironically.
All right, I'll tell the story again.
You don't have to tell the story.
Well, if y'all are going to make fun of me for it, we have new viewers here who need to know.
Refer to the Alabama-Georgia preview for context on what we're talking about.
I'll do it in 15, 30 seconds. I was dating a girl, huge Alabama fan. Her parents had season tickets. Last year, while we were dating, she said, hey, do you want to come to the Georgia game? Me being like, heck yeah, that's crazy. Alabama-Georgia, it's a huge matchup. Alabama was they were not to number one. They proceeded to be number one after beating Georgia. I went with them. Her father's like 6'6", 300 pounds, and is like, say Roll Tide. What? Say Roll Tide, come on. And I'm like, yes, sir. So I said Roll Tide. And I think the reason that they wanted me to say it is because they could tell I was enjoying the Georgia comeback, because in my heart of hearts, I wanted Georgia to win. And so they could tell that I was not an Alabama fan, even in my Alabama t-shirt, my Alabama polo, trying to pretend to be one. And so they like encouraged me to say Roll Tide, and because
you folded like a cheap suit.
I did fold like a cheap suit.
You should start barking.
I think I would have been thrown out of the nosebleed where we were sitting.
Yeah,
so.
that's
Go
fair.
Dogs, sick 'em.
Anyway, I'm going to pick Alabama to cover here because I don't think Tennessee's defense is going to be able to get the stops they need.
Yeah, I'm also going to pick Alabama to cover here. Just keep doing what you're doing, Alabama. The game plan for y'all to win games is pretty clear at this point, and I know we're going against the betting logic we've talked about here, but I just feel confident enough in Alabama to get this win and cover that even though it's 7.5, I'll take them to cover.
I'm taking Tennessee to cover.
Okay.
I'm going to not go against my trend and take them to cover 7.5.
Well, yeah, you are the semi-professional gambler here, so it makes sense that you're going to be the one to
correct
hold true to trends.
And while that is not
after
shown,
breaking the trend last game.
Yes, but
well, that's hate. There's hate there.
Okay.
I had really good reason for that. Well, I have not been the greatest bettor publicly on this show. I am doing wonderful this year privately, and I'm going to take Tennessee to cover that 7.5 points. But I fully expect Bama to win, and I would pick them to win. Like I said, the trends just lean that way. The only one that doesn't is just the fact that Tennessee hasn't won in Tuscaloosa since 2003. And those, as I've talked about in the past, are one of those trends that maybe you want to lean away from, because that means, eventually they will.
It's got to happen at some point.
I'm not going to go out on a limb and say they will. As good as I have been at doing that this year, I'll take Bama to win, but Tennessee to cover.
Sure.
And with that, of course, I'll take the lead over everybody in the betting department for picking the spread this year.
We'll see about that.